Minasan konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Watashi Makumarin desu.
私はグレイテルでございます。
Hi,
よろしくお願いします。
welcome and welcome to Musings from Japan number 35.
35?
35.
Good grief. That's 5 below 40.
Ooh, that's 5 over 30.
35.
Half full?
35.
35.
35.
Banjugo. Okay,
Banjugo.
today, as promised, we're going to have the sports edition. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep, today is sports. It's summer sports.
I have my Hanshin Tigers, my favorite Japanese baseball team. I have my Dodger cap back there. You can see right above my head.
Oh yeah, good. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. Man, baseball, man. You know, the one thing about Japanese baseball that's really cool is that people are funky.
Oh yeah, they don't they use the bushwhackers?
What?
What are those things they use? Yeah,
those are called bachi.
Bachi balls.
Bachi are as a term for like sticks that you hit together. Bachi.
Sonanda.
Yeah. So in Japanese, a bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker. I know what the hell it is.
Get the locusts out. Well, yeah.
Booyah.
Booyah. Yeah. Oh no, we don't want booyah. Anyway, but so yeah, and I've been watching a lot of baseball, and for some reason this year, Greg, my passion when I was young for baseball is coming back.
Well, you're in the later part of your life. I mean, there's more days behind you than there are ahead of you, so you want to appreciate good things.
Yeah. I mean, when I was young, I played Little League, all the way through elementary, junior high, and high school up, and I played baseball. I wasn't a great player, but I enjoyed the game. I like going to baseball games. I have lots of good memories of baseball games in America and in Japan, going to baseball games in Japan. And
it's a national sport here.
Yeah, and now with Shohei Ohtani over at in the Angels. What's the name of that team? When I left America, it was the California Angels. Then they became the Anaheim Angels. Then they became the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And now they're just, I think the announcer said they're just the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah, and see they started the year I was born, 1961. So we're the same age.
Angels. Yeah, okay.
And when they started, they were called the Los Angeles Angels because they played actually in Los Angeles.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, so
I couldn't deal with that dumb name that they had, the California Angels of Anaheim or something, whatever.
No, that was the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
What was that? Who thought of that? No wonder those owners lost the team.
Oh, anyway.
I don't know.
Hey, the owner is a Latino, so I can't say anything.
Now.
Arturo Moreno.
Yeah,
Artie. Anyway, but Ohtani is now with the Angels, and so I'm lucky because every day I get to watch Angels baseball on TV.
Where was he before?
Oh, he was in Japan.
Oh, so he came from. Well, yeah, I guess it's Ohtani.
Hello.
Yeah. So okay. He wasn't a Yankees or something like that before.
No, see, that's the funky thing. He went to the Angels. Actually, Ohtani was actually a very, very famous high school baseball player here in Japan.
Do you know what prefecture?
I believe he was from Iwate. Yeah, Iwate. Iwate. Oh, the history of Ohtani. Just a little bit. He's from Iwate. Iwate was one of the prefectures that was heavily damaged in the earthquake.
In the earthquake and tsunami.
And he was young. When year was that? 2011. 11, right?
March.
So yeah, 20. Yeah. What, 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago.
We just had the 10-year anniversary this year.
So he was in high school when that happened, and the year that it happened, his baseball team was supposed to go to Koshien, I believe, which is the national tournament. And I think they were able to go, but his home was destroyed. He was living in temporary shelters, and but the team worked hard. Anyway, excuse me. He became popular in the Koshien that year. He became famous because he was able to throw a fastball 99 miles an hour in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 160K. And
so for those of you who didn't follow baseball players, who don't follow baseball players too closely, he's a pitcher.
But he also was a very talented hitter.
Yeah.
So in high school, but he was primarily a pitcher. Even though he did play in America too. I mean, when you're a kid in elementary, junior high, and high school baseball, you play multiple positions. You just want to play. I mean, it used to be that way. Maybe now people are more focused on specializing. I know in basketball, that's what's happened. In basketball, that people become specialized, or a shooter, a 3-point shooter, as this guy. I kind of like the old days. You had to play many positions. When I played baseball, and I was not good. Okay, I'm just saying. The coach would say, "Mark, play third base." So, okay. And you get out and you learn how to play third base or first base, or sometimes I would pitch. I wasn't a good pitcher, but I was able.
I always played right in Little League. I played right field.
Oh, the right field means, Greg.
Is that Neverland?
That's like the usually put your weakest player in right field.
Well, that was me.
Oh, so that's why Babe Ruth played right field.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, we'll talk about this.
He was such a great hitter.
He was a great pitcher, though. Babe Ruth was a pitcher and a hitter. Actually, at one time he was a better pitcher than he was a hitter. But he couldn't do both. We'll talk about it with Ohtani a little bit. Anyway, with Shohei, he was a famous pitcher. And he said when he was in high school, before he graduated, I don't want to play Japanese baseball. I want to play in the major leagues. His dream from high school was he wanted to be a major. So he didn't want to be drafted. Now in America, you draft out of high school or college, and usually players that are drafted out of high school or college end up going into the American minor league system. And then they have to train a few years before they're moved up to the major league team. So even if you were 17 years old and drafted by the Dodgers, you probably won't see Dodger Stadium on the Dodger roster until you're after 21, 22, which means especially if you're a pitcher, you have to get stronger. You have to develop your skills, your signs, a lot of things that have to develop before you can become a major league pitcher. Now, Ohtani kind of knew that, but he wanted to grow up in the American system. He really wanted to be an American baseball player, and they did these negotiations. And I think at the time, the system that we have in Japan is that in order for a Japanese player to go to America, they have to have a posting system. You could be drafted out of high school, but that means that if you accept that, Ohtani could never play in Japan. See, I think the Red Sox or the Yankees and the Dodgers were all wanted Ohtani, but if he said yes to them, he could never come back to Japan and play baseball. He'd give up his availability or to play in Japan. And after the negotiations, he said, "Oh,
he'd be ineligible to.
He would close off his whole culture." Not because he wanted to, but because Japanese baseball demands that, which I think is stupid. But anyway, so what he did, he decided, okay, I will play in Japan. And he was drafted by, I think, the Nippon Ham Fighter. Here's a great name. Nippon Ham Fighters.
Yeah.
Nippon Ham is a company that makes ham. And they have a baseball team called Nippon Ham Fighters.
Japan Ham.
Yeah, Japan Ham Fighters, but I always Nippon Ham Fighters. No, they're not fighting ham. But anyway, it's kind of funky. Thank you. Anyway, yeah. So he played baseball in Japan, and he was Rookie of the Year. He was a great pitcher, but also a good hitter. Now, key point: he's a great pitcher and a good hitter. Okay, so actually he was a strikeout pitcher, lots of good control. even through I think 2 or 3 shutouts. I mean, he was a really
That
good
was
pitcher.
great. Yeah.
But his hitting was okay. He was okay. He was a good for average hitter, a little bit of power once in a while, but primarily the pitchers, like pitchers here and the hitters here. Now in Japan, there have been other pitchers that come from Japan that play, like Yu Darvish right now with the San Diego Padres.
Right.
Yu Darvish is like one of the best pitchers. He's an all-star. He was chosen as an all-star this year, and he's having a great year. Yu Darvish is a horrible hitter. He hates hitting. He in Japan he was a horrible hitter. Other pitchers, Kenta Maeda, who's now pitching for I believe the Minnesota Twins. He was with the Dodgers up until a couple of years ago. Average hitter as a pitcher, really average. I mean, he was a good contact. He makes contact. Good bunter. So if you need a bunt, boom, Maeda can put a bunt. Or Tanaka, who pitched for the Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka, who's back in Japan now, was a horrible hitter too. That's why he wanted to go to the American League, so he didn't have to hit, because they have a DH. Anyway, but Otani, when he was decided to come to America, he said, I want to go to America, but I want to be a two-way player. Because in Japan, they wouldn't let him really hit all the time. He hit as a pitcher, but he didn't, like on off days, he wasn't playing. He wasn't hitting a lot. Sometimes they would put him in the DH just to try it out, but he wasn't regular because Japanese coaches don't like that. They say, no. You're a pitcher. And he was a great pitcher. But Otani's stipulation going to America says, I want to do both. So he got on the Angels. Okay. And the Angels.
So they didn't draft him.
They drafted him. They didn't draft him. What they did was they paid money to negotiate with him. So the way it works is a major league team who wants a Japanese player, they have to pay money to the Japanese team that owns that player. So the Nippon Ham Fighters owned Otani. So they had a bid, and all these teams wanted Otani, but the Angels paid the most money. So Nippon Ham gets all this money. He said, hi, you can talk to Otani. Dozo. Go ahead. And so then
money talks.
Money talks, and everybody else walked. So, and then the Angels negotiated, and what they did, because they made a deal, because Otani wanted to do both. The Angel says, okay, we'll let you do both, but you have to take this contract. So he has a rookie contract, which is in America means he's making very little money, really, right now. And then based on his performances and, he can get bonuses. So he was drafted in 2018. I think it's 3 years now. So, but the problem was when they drafted him, and he had, or not drafted him, they won the rights and they negotiated. So he signed with the Angels, and then they had to do a physical. They found out he had kind of a sprain in his elbow, and they thought they could rehab it and work. And it worked okay because he pitched, he could pitch, he did some good things, but then he injured the elbow. He injured the thing, and he needed to have Tommy John surgery.
Oh,
so, but
that's
with
serious.
with this sprain that this injury, he could still bat. So he continued the season just as a DH and had great numbers and developed more of a home run swing and home run hitting. And he was fast. And so all of he can still hit and he can still run because it doesn't affect his arms. He doesn't have to throw. He's a DH. Right. So after the surgery, he rehabbed and back, and now he's pitching now and he's hitting, and now they're comparing him to Babe Ruth. Actually, Otani's doing something better than Babe Ruth, because when Babe Ruth was a pitcher and a player, when he pitched, his batting was horrible. But then when he was only batting, not pitching, it was great. But never could Babe Ruth really put both of them together. But right now, Otani's doing something that I would say no Major League Baseball player could ever do. Now, there are other major leagues. Some people have said that in the Negro leagues, the black baseball leagues, There were players who did both who were very good, like Otani, but they never got a chance to play in the major league because of racism. But so Otani in there is able now to pitch, and be a great effective pitcher, and then the next day after pitching goes in and he's a DH and he bats, and it's incredible. And I saw him hit a home run a couple days ago watching the Mariners and the Angels play.
Oh, Mariners are my favorite team.
Man, he hit a home run. The T-Mobile Stadium they have there that used to be called
Seattle?
Yeah, it's called T-Mobile is the sponsor now. So
Yeah.
they have I guess it would be right center. They have the wall that goes out, and they have like the one level. They have 2, 3, 4 levels. It's stacked.
Yeah.
Really nice. He hit a ball up there, Greg. They said only 5 or 6 players ever in that stadium have ever hit a ball up there in a game.
Wow.
And he's one of them. I mean, and when he swung, the pitcher, the pitcher threw the ball, when he hit the ball, the pitcher went, oh damn. And because everyone turned around, it was like it was a
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap. And and Otani is unlike other Japanese players in the past. Otani is not small. He's 190 centimeters tall.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah,
He's
what,
gargantuan. I'm only 173.
Right, he's 6'5".
Wow, he's tall.
And he weighs 103
2.54 centimeters to an inch.
And he weighs 103 kilos.
Oh, he's skinny.
103, but for a Japanese baseball player, that's huge, because the next one who would be that, like Ichiro, only weighed 75 kilos.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He's 30 kilos heavier than Ichiro, and about 5 inches taller than Ichiro. 5 or 6 inches taller. Ichiro's not a short guy, but he's skinny. This guy he's big. And he's really I haven't thought this way about a baseball player, Greg, in years. And
well, good for you.
It's kind of nice.
I noticed that this is recently, and I don't know how many home runs he's at for the season this year or this time now, but this season in 2021, I noticed on somebody's Facebook page that in America, that they said that he had at that time hit 32 home runs, which for this time in the season was unheard of.
He has 33.
Yeah, so 33. So,
and right now we're still before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And for the Angel, was it who was it on the Angels? Mike Trout is the we're talking 2 or 3 time MVP of the baseball. Mike Trout, he's considered the best baseball player in America. He's on the Angels, but he's injured now. Mike Trout had 29 home runs before the All-Star break. That was the Angels record previously.
Oh, and just Otani just blew it out of the water.
And he's still batting around 280.
That's fantastic.
Batting 280. He does strike out a lot. Now, that's because he's hitting home runs. And I think that's because the style, again, now I'm thinking baseball. The style of hitting is so different than when I was taught baseball. These got what they call the sabermetrics. They're talking launch angles, exit velocity, barrel. They had a stat, the percentage of barrel hits, meaning you have the barrel of the bat. I mean, I can use this as, let's say they were comparing, so hitting the top or the center of the barrel, sitting below, there's a certain percentage, and the average baseball player is about 9 to 10% hitting the center, which means you're barreling up and getting the best quality hit. Otani's percentage is around 80%. So when he hits the ball, 80% of the time he's hitting the dead center of the bat. 80% of the time, Greg. You know how hard it is to hit a major league ball? These
Yeah.
guys are throwing like 100 miles an hour, but he's able to time the ball and the bat so it's perfect. I mean, they're comparing his hitting accuracy to Ted Williams,
Ooh.
who's considered one of the greatest hitters of all time. Maybe Ted Williams, always his philosophy is put the bat on the ball, get the ball in play, no matter what. And Ted Williams was a what we used to say an uppercut swinger. You know,
Yeah.
he's you know
I think that people who appreciate baseball and great baseball players are recognizing that the fantastic run or the fantastic talent that Otani's displayed.
But the biggest thing that my mother, now we'll go to my mother's a baseball fan, but she likes the Angels, but she doesn't know the game, but she likes Otani's attitude, his demeanor, how he always picks up the bats and gives it to the bat boy or the bat girl. How I was watching that game where I saw him hit that home run. He walked earlier in the game. So he's taking off his stuff and he puts it on the ground. And then when the bat boy comes out to pick up the stuff to take it to the dugout, he picks it up, hands it to them, and he taps the guy on the shoulder. Thank you. And he said, thank you. I saw his lips go, thank you. He said, thank you to the bat boy doing his job. Think about it. Do you think about your favorite baseball player, Barry Bonds? Let's think of Barry Bonds. You think of back in the day, or McGuire or Canseco or all these great baseball players. Imagining them going, "Hey, thank you, guy. Thanks for picking up my equipment."
I could imagine Steve Garvey or somebody doing that.
Yeah, we're talking the 70s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about this century.
2021.
The last 20 years. Just think the last 20 years. Think of a baseball player who's maybe John Olerud.
Oh, that's a name.
From the Mariners. He played in the Mariners too, right?
Yeah.
Right. He always wore a helmet. I remember. I liked great, classy guy. Yeah, maybe he did. Yeah. John Olerud.
Well, I know that Otani has people are talking about him in America, but they're not only talking about him in America. And I'm not sure if it was Seattle or if it was because Seattle has a large Asian population. They have a large population of people who are originally from Japanese ancestry or from Japan, and
as well as China and Korea.
Yeah, now, but the reason I bring that up is because it was either there or in the Angels Stadium, the stadium where the Angels play, that they had Japanese company advertisements in the signage.
Right, the sign
that was fascinating.
What was it? Nito Tire, right?
I didn't see that. I saw Yakult.
Yeah, and Yakult.
I saw which is a yogurt company here in Japan. It's right. The most famous yogurt company probably, or one of the big
yogurt
drink. And then they also had a Yamada Denki, the Yamada electronics store sign. And this is America. Seeing Japanese company signs.
Yeah, I mean, now, and I'm not
Japanese know who he is. They all know.
But the other thing is, though, somebody told me on actually on Facebook. I had this conversation with somebody on Facebook, a baseball fan, a friend of mine. He said that what we see is geared to our market, that the TV will put, those are like digital signs. Because in the stadium, they're blank.
Oh, is that so?
So when you're watching the broadcast, since you pay for the broadcast, they gear the advertisement for that broadcast.
Fascinating.
I think some of them is impossible. Like I know that what's the food? Yoshinoya.
Yep.
Yoshinoya has a sign at Dodger Stadium. I know because I went to Dodger Stadium and I saw it. But they also have a Yoshinoya in the stadium to eat. You can have
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. But there in America, the Yoshinoya is slightly different than here in Japan.
I haven't tried it. You tried it?
I used to eat at it quite often. In Southern California, they had about, at the time I lived there, this is at least a decade ago, they had 100 stores in Southern California.
Ooh, wow.
But the thing that I had was a beef or a vegetable or a chicken bowl,
Yeah.
and it was in a thick sauce and in the vegetables, and it was on top of rice, on a bed of rice in the bowl, in the styrofoam bowl. But here in Japan, you can go in the restaurant and it's not styrofoam; it's an actual bowl.
Yeah.
And it's
ceramic.
It's a ceramic bowl, and you can get all kind. The menu's quite varied, and if you want a beer, you can get a beer, a draft beer.
Right. Yeah. In Japan. Yeah. Every shop has a beer. Even Taco Bell in Japan now. The ones in Shibuya that I've been to. Last friend of mine showed a picture. Now they're serving alcohol.
Wouldn't that be great to have a taco and beer?
They have a bar. They have a bar that I think. What do they call it? It has another name, I forgot, but they have an actual bar in a Taco Bell. Tacos and a beer, man. I want a tecate and tacos.
Perhaps I talked about this though, but there's a lot of the experiences that are almost identical to America. Here in Japan, for example, a baseball game, they have pretty girls who bring you the beers around that you can buy for that are selling beer, and they call out, and you can call them and you can buy a beer from them or buy a soft drink or something like that, which is like America. But it's been a long time since I'd seen a baseball game. It's been probably 15 years in America.
Well, the last game I went to in America was actually a Dodger game.
Mine was an Angels game.
Yeah, I went to. Who did I see? I'm trying to think. No, I'm sorry. The last game I saw in America was actually in Yankee Stadium, because I had taken students to New York, and I went to Yankee Stadium, and I sat in an area where it was like a waiter came. I sat in the area, and you called the waiter. You just like this. They came down with a menu, and you say, okay, I want the peanuts and a beer and give me the Coney dog or Coney Island dog, or whatever it was. They said, okay. They write it up, and they go. They come back, and you pay them, and then give them a tip. It was like a waiter service. It was kind of like, this is weird. This is not California. I remember going to Dodger Stadium, taking my family and seeing Nomo pitch in Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah,
and it was
Nomo.
And everyone wanted food, and I said okay, and I stood up and I yelled at the hot dog guy, and the guy goes, "Give me Dodger dog," and, you hold up the money in your hand, and like this, and the whole kind of it's different. The peanut guy, where you show him the money, he throws you the peanuts and you pass down the money, that kind of thing. That's kind of like American baseball to me. It's kind of, even buying food is active. I mean, I don't remember in America going upstairs and standing in line and getting food to eat, because I came to watch the game. But I think now American stadiums are more into standing and eating and socializing. Oh, and by the way, there's a baseball game. That's what it looks like to me in some cases, especially in Seattle. That stadium, they have these nice areas where they have round tables and you can sit there and lounge.
Well, it was interesting because I went to an Angels game a couple times, and I went one time, and in fact maybe twice I did it, but they had a restaurant on the third level, and I went to the restaurant.
Yes,
it was in right field, and you could see the game going on. It was kind of far away, but there we were sitting out in an open area on the third level, eating food.
For me, as a sports fan, that's not the purpose. I don't want to sit in a restaurant. I'll sit in a restaurant after the game and talk about the game, but I want to sit in the stands, stare down at third base, look at the pitcher, look at the umpires, watch the game, at the same time eating a little snack, or something like that. It's very different, Greg. I mean, I grew up, my father was liked baseball, and he was my first coach, so that's the way.
So the last baseball game I went to was here in Japan, in Nagoya, at the Nagoya Dome. It's a dome stadium, so it could be raining outside. Oh,
yeah, I've never done that.
Yeah, and you would never know.
Yeah.
And the weather is always great inside the stadium, and even this past pandemic year, they'd have games there.
Well, what did you do there?
I went with my father-in-law, and we went and saw the Hanshin Tigers and the Yomiuri Giants. Sorry, he was a Giants fan.
Oh,
huge Giants fan.
Hanshin.
Hanshin is Osaka, so he was Tokyo. The Yomiuri Giants.
I've lost respect for him. Okay, go ahead.
No, he was great. He was great, and I admired him for that. But I became a Chunichi Dragons fan.
But what is the stadium like? Is there restaurants or places?
Oh, there's places to eat. I think there's, I don't know. We didn't walk around that much, but you can. It's typical like America. You can go to the
well, they have the food stands. I know.
Yeah, the food stands.
But you're saying you went to Anaheim Stadium and sat in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the game's over there. But that I'm sorry. As a purist baseball guy, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'll break that up.
But it was there. So.
Boop.
You have that sound?
That was the sound of me being edited. Okay, thank you. But how about this? What's that one in San Francisco? That there's the Giants' new stadium. Have you seen
AT&T Park? I've seen it only on TV.
It's not AT&T anymore, is it? Or they
don't
have it?
know.
They keep changing the names. Now it's every stadium is sponsored, so it has a sponsor name. But anyway, that stadium looks very interesting to walk around. But I would rather watch I don't know. My first game, I think I went to, with my father, we went to Anaheim Stadium, the Angels, where they played, in 1960 something, Greg. We're talking like 1966, 67. I saw the Minnesota Twins play the Angels, and I sat behind the visitors' dugout, I remember, a couple seats back. And when I saw Harmon Killebrew, who was the first baseman, come out with his arms were as big as like two elephants. He holding a bat, he's going, you can see the it's like, holy crap, that's a baseball. I thought this was a football game. What?
Yeah. So
it's that kind of thing that
is he a good hitter?
He was a home run hitter. He was a big slugger. He was one of the greats, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Great first base, good fielder, great hitter. The Twins were champions. They were World Series champions a couple of years.
So do you think Ohtani would make the Hall of Fame?
Too early.
I mean, when it's time. What about Ichiro?
No. I mean, Ichiro, definitely. Ichiro's retired. Ichiro's going in, and I'm predicting now he's going into the American Hall of Fame. He'll be the first Japanese baseball player in the American Baseball Hall of Fame.
Wow.
He will. And he's going to be, Ichiro is so, he opened up so, without Ichiro, Ohtani couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I got an anecdote time. I've got a story that I heard on a podcast. So Ichiro was a rookie in Seattle, and this baseball player for the Kansas City Royals, and I can't remember his name. He played first base for the Kansas City Royals. He was on a team that had visited Japan. The major league players come to Japan and they do the tour, right? The major league all-stars play against Yomiuri Giants or a Japanese all-star team. So they came, and this first baseman, and he was, like taking in Japanese baseball. It's like, wow, look at the crowd, and they're all yelling. And then he noticed like every time somebody would get a hit, the crowd was, or the bench or the players would say, nice batting. Not like nice hit. They would say, nice batting. Nice batting, nice batting, nice batting. Okay, and they're cheering. Okay. And he listened. Oh, he understood that. He said, that's cool. That's cool. So when Ichiro was a rookie with the Mariners played the Kansas City Royals in the same division. And Ichiro got up there, boom, he gets a hit, right? And he gets to first base, and the first baseman, he's there. And he leans over to Ichiro because he's not sure if Ichiro speaks English. This is the first time he met Ichiro. He doesn't know if he speaks English, so he uses the Japanese phrase. Oh, in Japan, they said, Ichiro, nice batting. Nice batting. Ichiro turns to him, slaps him on the butt, and says, Oh, yeah, his name was Massey. Mike Massey was the first. He stopped him on the butt. He goes, Massey, nice ass. In English.
That's interesting.
Come on, Greg, that's funny. It's like you get a hit, you're on first base, the first baseman from the other club, you should have nice batting. And he goes, hey, Massey, nice ass.
Wow. Well,
I mean, because he assumed that Ichiro didn't understand English, so he used a Japanese phrase with him. So he used an American phrase with him. See, that's the
is that a joke?
It's a joke. It's a joke, Greg. It's a sports joke.
Well, I didn't get it.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, as a sports guy, it's like, yeah, it's like.
Well, you know, Ohtani. Back to Ohtani. Ohtani's it's created quite a wave of popularity here in Japan.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it's both America and Japan because every time I see him on TV, I always watch the English broadcast, but the Japanese announcers are always constantly talking about Ohtani's pitch, Ohtani's forms, Ohtani's hits.
They're breaking down the technique and all that stuff.
They're not watching the game, you know. So I listen to the American announcers, and they say Ohtani. So when they played in Yankee Stadium a couple weeks ago, the Yankee announcers, what's his name, Mac. I forgot. He's a famous announcer in America. Those of you who are in America, you know who I'm talking. He was saying, you know, he knew Tanaka, he knew Matsui, because Hideki Matsui, played for the Yankees. His nickname was Godzilla. You know, so he hit 31 home runs for the Yankees.
One season.
But then Ohtani at the time only had 30 and then 29. And then he hit 29 and 30 in one game. He hit 2 home runs in Yankee Stadium. And he was going, I've never seen it like this. He swings so much more powerful than Matsui. I thought Matsui was a big, good, great hitter, but Ohtani's another level up. He amazed the Yankee announcers. You know, and they've had a lot of, Ichiro played for the Yankees. Ichiro, Matsui, Tanaka, going back many years, there's been a lot, Hideki Irabu, lots of players played for the Yankees, Japanese players. But they said none of them had the same impact as Ohtani.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, and that's from the Yankees. If you impress a Yankee announcer or when he came up to the bat, people cheered in Yankee Stadium. They said, next batting, Shohei Ohtani. And you heard people, yay! What? You know, Yankee Stadium, you usually go to Yankee Stadium. Next batting, so, boo, yeah, good job. You know, New Yorkers are not ready to accept another player like that. But when he came up, they cheered. Now, the only other person I saw them do that with was Ichiro. Because Ichiro has so much respect everywhere. They say, Ichiro, that's Ichiro. But Ohtani has already got that same respect.
So he sounds like he's a humble person.
He's very humble, and he smiles when now they have the rule where they check the pitchers if they're using any sticky stuff in the ball and stuff, Greg. You don't know the rules, but you're not supposed to put any foreign substances on the ball. So they check pitchers now.
Well, why not if it helps them get a good grip?
That's logical, Greg. But the problem is that some people have gone too far, is what they've done. They've used substances that have given them too good of a grip. Because they're talking again, sabermetric, going to the spin rate of the ball is the highest it's ever been. You know, so that means the ball breaks quicker and it rises, it does more things. So they said we got to stop this because the pitchers are too good, the batting is bad. So the pitchers can't use the stuff. But to make sure, the umpires will check you every game. You know, so if you come in, you have to take off your hat, take off your glove, and show them, and then show your belt and your pockets to make sure there's nothing in there that they're using. So, but a pitcher's got angry, said, "Well, here's my mitt. Go ahead, check. I got nothing." But Ohtani did it. He's smiling, and he said, "Here you go. Yeah, right here. Should I do it? No, okay, this one. Thank you." And he pats the umpire. Thank you. And it goes. The umpires are going. He said, "Thank you to me." Imagine a baseball player saying "thank you" to the umpire. Greg. I mean, what's your I mean, but see, you never played baseball, like you never grew up in that culture where the umpire is the enemy. And that, the blue. We have words for the umpires. The umpires always in American culture are considered the enemy.
Yeah.
But Otani, no problem. Everyone, thank you. Bat boy, thank you. Umpire, thank you.
Well,
Oh man, it's different. It makes me watch baseball.
well, and they show what's interesting with the Japanese players in American leagues. They show those games on TV.
All the games.
Yeah, you can watch all the games. You can watch.
Now I see Darvish, I see Baeta, I see.
Yeah. So what's up with Darvish? I mean, Darvish is not a Japanese name.
He's half Japanese.
Ah.
His father, I believe, is Russian.
Oh.
Yeah. And his mother is Japanese. But he stayed in Japan.
Fascinating.
Who's another one? There's a pitcher, Kikuchi. He's with the Mariners. He's doing really well. He all-star this year too, Greg.
Yeah, but remember years ago that, excuse me, the Japan. Sorry.
It's late. It's really late.
Yeah. Actually, it's not late because I'm getting. You know what? I'm getting ready to eat lunch.
I know.
Look at what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat. Check this out.
Oh, the Fukuda burger.
Yeah, it's Fukuda. It's Fukuda Baga.
Fukuda means in English fake. Sorry, Greg.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Is macaroni and cheese?
No. What does it say? Let me see it. Mac and cheese, maybe fake cheese. I don't know.
Is that fake cheese? Well, it's been sitting on my table since yesterday.
Yeah, it's
and then
processed hamburger. What else are you gonna have?
Another Fukuda burger.
Ooh, that one's got mayonnaise in it. That's got a spicy tomato sauce and mayonnaise.
Yep, it's mayonnaise. There it says right there.
Mayonnaise.
Yep. So that's my lunch, and then if I want to eat one of these, what's this? Oh, hora.
Oh, cinnamon roll.
Yeah, but I think that's probably for our boy here.
Oh.
And then I don't know.
You're the boy.
Well, I might make my wife mad if I eat it. But then there's pancakes, hot cakes.
Hot cake sandwich.
Yep. And so we got that. So that's my lunch. It's rainy. It's going to rain today for you. It's going to rain today for me. And that's we didn't do a weather report, so that's an abbreviated version.
It will.
Number 35 musings from Japan.
It's already raining.
Oh.
It started to slightly rain here.
Well, let me look on the radar as I speak. So I'll check out the radar. You got a big one coming in.
Don't tell me
that. Oh wait,
that.
that's already there. It's what time is it now? It's later. So
it's 11:30 or.
Yeah, it's going to hit. I think it's dissipating a little bit.
I've got a little
the coast
bit now.
Yeah, and you're on the northern fringe of the heavy rain, but. If you look at this, there's the rain, massive rain up in your area.
Yeah, so Niigata up there. So yeah, Nagaoka is going to get killed. Anyway,
they sure are. So
let's see. So this week, I have a big thing coming up this week.
Well, what's that?
Niigata Jazz Street's coming back.
Oh, great. Jazz Street. So, twice a year in Niigata.
Yeah, last summer it was canceled, so we couldn't play. But this year it's on. I wrote a new song, an opener for the band to play, and we got a whole thing. We had big old practice yesterday, and we got in next Saturday. So Saturday noon, we're the first big band on the program this year. We're opening the festival.
Fantastic.
Niigata Jazz Street is the largest public jazz festival in Japan. 2 days.
They have all kinds of performances at many different venues all around the city.
You get a ticket for 1,000 yen.
Yep.
For about $10. You get a $10 ticket. and for 2 days you use that ticket to go see any jazz that's on the program. And there are, I think, about 250 scheduled performances.
Yeah,
so
it's really great.
Halls, clubs, meeting places, dives, hotels.
Yeah,
all over the place. Oh, it's
yeah,
great. I'm looking.
We've had a
forward
lot
to
of fun. We had a lot of fun when we did our Rise Up things, over the years.
Greg has been a member.
Yeah,
Has
I have been. I've 3 or 4 times I've experienced. Jazz Street. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good memories.
Anyway, so that's the big thing that I'm looking forward to. So, been practicing and playing, so it feels good to get my chops up. So
Mark.
Yes, sir.
Can you believe we've done 35 musings from Japan?
35. This is the 35th.
The 35th.
And we want to thank all of you. Without your support,
yeah, thank you very much.
Well, I should be honest. We haven't had enough support.
Oh, we're getting that. I believe it or not, I was talking to an American friend, and they watch us religiously.
Is that term always bothered me? Religiously, does that mean we're kind of apostles?
I don't know, but I just know that they're faithful. It's maybe more to do with faith. I don't know.
Oh, okay, faithful.
And what is an apostle?
Someone who's apostolic.
Is that so? Yeah. But and if I don't know,
a follower, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know, and there it is.
If I don't know, I don't know.
So,
and it's like this world today, they expect you to know every single thing, but they don't have to know it. But if you don't know it,
yes, you do. We must know. Anyway, but I'm very happy that we play jazz. 35th Musings from Japan.
Yeah.
Hanshin Tigers, my favorite Japanese team, is #1 in Japan, and the Dodgers are also in first place. So my 2 favorite teams are in first place.
What about Otani's team?
The Angels are in 3rd or 4th. They're behind your Mariners.
Oh, good.
No.
Yeah, I want my Mariners to win everything.
The Mariners are in 3rd place.
Oh.
Houston's #1, I believe, and Oakland is #2.
Oakland, wow.
I know, Oakland. The A's always have a good team. They always pisses me off.
I still can't believe how the Raiders in America, moved to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas!
Wow. Las Vegas, baby.
Because gambling is now is these companies like FanDuel and all these sports gambling companies are really big now, and they're starting to get into different places. I mean, it's gambling has really, especially in America, gambling has taken off. They talked about having casino gambling here in Japan, but that fell through because you don't know. Because
no.
I think the representative in the government from Nagoya took bribes from Chinese businessmen because they wanted to be part of the gambling in Japan. These Chinese businessmen, and they bought his favors to get him on the committee.
That's too bad.
And so the government said, well, this is not good. So they said, we're not doing it. We'll scrap the idea. So it was going to happen. It would have happened before the Olympics. The idea was have it come in, then the influx of people come in, they will gamble and go to the Olympics, and money in Japan. But but actually the pandemic kind of put a squash on all that. And that now at this sitting, as we talk now at this moment, there's going to be no spectators.
For the Olympics, yeah.
For the Olympics.
Just,
only limited in places outside of the Tokyo infected area, the 3 prefectures. So
the Olympics are starting any minute now.
But to me, man, the Olympics is a great TV sport anyway. Is a TV program. If they would just make it a TV program, a studio kind of thing,
all they need to do is they can have those fake cheering noises. I don't care.
Well, look at the NBA did last year in the bubble. They did a whole championship in a stadium with fake cardboard people, but people online. They had like screens set up where you could pay to be online and watch the game.
Wow.
I mean, I thought that's kind of, imagine the Olympic Stadium with 50,000 people paying in to be. That'd be so cool. And that's 21st century, right? Why not? Why do we have to have people there? People can pay to be part of the program.
Well, there is something about the noise you hear when you're watching, you know.
As an athlete, a former athlete, it doesn't matter because you don't hear the noise. The audience thinks that they make an effect on you really don't. The audience or the crowd really does not affect what you do if you're a good athlete. It only affects the weak athletes. Like at basketball games, when people are over there, doing all these funky things behind the backboard for a free throw, the guy taking the free throw is not even listening or looking at you. Like when I shoot a basketball, I'm looking at the ring. I don't see anything else. I don't hear anything else. Referee gives me a ball, I bounce, I look at the ring, I shoot at the ring. That's it. I don't hear anything else. I don't see anything else. Like when you play a concert, are you listening to the crowd when you're playing a concert?
No,
not at all. It's the same thing.
By the way, they had on TV not too long ago. On Sunday night we have the classical concerts on channel, the E-television, educational TV, NHK, channel 2, and so they had Bernstein historical recordings. They had all these well-known Japanese. They had all these well-known Japanese conductors talking about him and other famous people, and they were having a roundtable discussion. And then they showed extensive rehearsals and concert performances of him at the Pacific Rim Festival or some festivals that they have in Hokkaido or northern Japan. Yeah, and they showed extensive, and he's been dead for 30 years. So
did they show Ozawa?
Not on this video, but they showed him a lot.
Was he on the round table because he studied with Lenny?
No, I don't know how much he gets out anymore, but
that's too bad.
Yeah,
I saw him, and he's on a wheelchair now.
Yeah.
So,
but he conducted the Berlin Philharmonic a couple years ago, and he was kind of weak.
Well, he can't go overseas now.
No, he can't. So they stopped that, and then but he's still enthusiastic, and I think even in Japan he's still conducting.
He's 84.
Yeah, he's in his 80s, and
84.
About a decade ago or something, he had esophageal cancer.
Mm-hmm. But that's fine now. But
yeah,
he has a great music festival here that he created about
where's that at?
20 years ago.
Matsumoto?
Yeah, Matsumoto.
Yeah.
And what I like about Ozawa is that he's a big Berlioz fan. So always has Berlioz on his program. He did the first. They did La Trojan, Trojans.
Yeah.
Berlioz Trojans here. They did the opera here, and it was the first performance of La Trojan in Asia.
Yeah, because it's so rarely performed.
Amazing.
A massive production, I bet.
4.5 hour production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, Japanese people have the endurance because, like, if you ever go to like a kabuki show, a traditional no or kyogen, people don't know that traditional Japanese arts are like all day affairs. Like if you watch sumo, it's not like watching an hour of fat people pushing. It's an all day affair. It's like 8.5 hours of fat people pushing each other. It's great.
Yep. That's sumo wrestling.
I love it.
Yep. And they come to my town, Nagoya.
They're there now, Greg.
Oh. It's a summer sumo tournament.
It's the first time they've been able to go outside of Tokyo since the pandemic.
I want to find out where they have that tournament and where exactly it is.
You should go get a ticket.
You know how expensive they are.
Yeah,
they're enormously expensive.
So,
but with the pandemic, the coronavirus vaccinations are beginning to progress, and my wife's already been vaccinated. She's waiting for a second one.
Greg, before you get too old to appreciate it, you must go to see a sumo tournament. I've done it twice, and I always want to do it. But if you want, we'll make a time when this pandemic's done. In fact, I promise you, right here on Musings 35 from Japan, I promise you, you and I will go to see a basho somewhere in Japan within the next 2 years.
それはいいですね。
we're going to go to Tokyo, Nagoya, or Osaka.
Okay, desu.
I'm not going to go to Fukuoka.
Oh, I'd love to go to Fukuoka. Let's go to Hakata.
You want to go to Fukuoka?
Well, Fukuoka is a little far.
Right. So,
I mean, technically we could get there in a few hours, but you could fly there in an hour and a half.
No.
But
I'm going to drive and I'm going to pick you up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, all right, that's a promise right here. Everyone, you're witnessing it on Musings 35 from Japan. Greg and I
Bucket list.
We will see sumo, and then I will teach Greg all the kimarite. The technique, the winning technique. So, anyway, everyone,
thank you for watching our
sports
discussion, sports edition on Shohei Ohtani, and arigatou gozaimashita. So, yeah.
And I want Shohei to win the home run derby.
That would be great.
That'd be great. And I want him to pitch in the game and win the game.
That'd be even better.
And hit a home run in the game, the winning home run.
That'd be the best.
Pitch the game. The one inning that he pitches, he shuts him out, 3 strikeouts. He comes up the next inning, hits a grand slam home run, and then that's the winning margin, and he wins MVP.
That'd be a cool game.
Boom, boom, boom. I mean, Ichiro won MVP in an All-Star game. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. He hit the first in-the-park home run in the All-Star game.
But I could talk about Wagner operas.
And with that, we will end next time on Musings 36, Wagner.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Okay, we'll change. I dominated with the baseball talk. Okay, next time, Ricky Wagner.
Musings from Japan. Thank you for number 35.
Thank you, everyone. Arigato, Greg. お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。
はい、さようなら。
さようなら。
さようなら。
さようなら。